Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Monday, October 30th, 2023. Another morning at the Polderbaan. Nice weather, bit of cloudiness, but we should stay dry for the duration of the stream. And let me begin by saying a big thank you to Jerry, who already gifted 5 AMS Live memberships before the stream even got underway. Good morning, Jerry, and good morning to all other viewers. Thank you so much, Jerry, those 5 new members. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Don't forget to say thank you to Jerry for gifting you an AMS Live membership. I will do a briefing if there's time for it at a later moment, but for now there is a TUI Dreamliner coming, so I'm going to crouch up from behind the laptop and first go to the camera and show the arrival of the first airplane this morning. It is arriving from Bonaire, TUI flight 703. It's a 7878 Dreamliner that has been flying for 8 hours and 44 minutes. 8 years old, first flight was in March 2015. The next airplane to arrive is going to be an A320neo from SAS, arriving from Copenhagen. Already visible in the distance. Let's see. And there is an A319 from Easyjet behind it, arriving from Bristol. It's at 8 o'clock from the A320neo. At the moment, at least before going live, when checking LVNL, we had parallel arrivals. Right now, I'm not sure if that's still the case. We'll have to see. There is an LL 737 arriving from the east, so depending on what it is going to do, we'll see if runway 18 center is still open. It was open just now. Let's see. In the meantime, a very good morning to everybody. Jackie, goedemorgen. GCL Streams, Blackburst, World Marble Race, Mid-KS, good morning all. Robert, good morning. I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Hope the same goes for you, buddy. Andrew ADL, good morning, mate. Hope all is well. Vinny, goedemorgen. Martin, goedemorgen. Ahmad, good morning. Hey there, Lenny, good morning. Lenny is flying to Osaka at 1 p.m. in 3.5 hours. Nice. Dreamliner probably. Jewe Slijm, goedemorgen, good morning. Sander, goedemorgen. Erik, goedemorgen. Ronnie, goedemorgen. Alessia, good morning. Hey there, Tina, happy Monday. Right. Quiet as a mouse. The first butt shot of the day incoming. go. Lovely morning light. The overall picture over here. We have a bit of cloudiness coming in from the south. It's quiet over here. The only other person working right now is pilot Sander HD. Have a look at his channel if you're unfamiliar with him. He makes compilation videos, has been doing that for several years already. Well-known name. We have K2 over here. This is looking to the north. This is looking to the west. And the next airplane about to touch down, arriving from Bristol. Easyjet A319, flight time 54 minutes. 14-year-old airplane, first flight December 2008. And you can see that the sun is shining. Right, well, I can see that the El Al is coming this way, so it looks like this is now once again the only runway used for arrivals. Otherwise, it would have gone to the center runway. It's coming shortly. Peter W, good morning. Teslicious, good morning. Captain Eddie Boys, good morning. Patrick, goedemorgen. Edwin, goedemorgen. Klaus, good morning. Wendy, goedemorgen. The chat keeps going down. Evert Jan, goedemorgen. John P, good morning. ETK, good morning. Tuning in all the way from Japan. Hey there, Evan, good morning. Evan asks about gardening news. Let me update you when I'm done greeting everybody. Otherwise, I'm gonna get behind more and more. Lenny, good morning. Tony, good morning. Row Aviation, good morning. Am I up to date? Erik, goedemorgen. Nigel, good morning. Big Al, good morning. Back from Spain, back to the grindstone. Oh dear. Hope you've had decent weather, mate. I think I saw that the Iberic, what is it? Yes, Iberic Peninsula did not have the best of weather the last couple of days. Evelyn, good morning. Arno, goedemorgen. Sam, good morning. Justin, good morning. Tiri Liri, good morning. Hey, Marissa. Almost miss you, apologies. In between the messages of Jackie, our new moderator. Right, so this is El Al flight 337, 737, 800 arriving from Tel Aviv. Flight time 4 hours and 37 minutes. 20-year-old airplane, first flight April 2003. Moisture on the runway, which you can see in the form of spray if they use the reverse thrust, which this captain or pilot flying, I should say, did. Ramonina, good morning. Well, the gardening, Evan, is on hold for the time being because what I next need to do is cut the tiles. I've rearranged the backyard, so the tiles are now in the place. Or I should say the borders I've created. It was all terrace. I want part lawn, part terrace, so I've rearranged the borders. Now what I need to do is cut the concrete tiles to size so that the path between the house and the exit of the backyard is nicely even. So for that I need one of those big circular saws that are water cooled, and we're probably going to need it for 2 days. So I'm basically waiting for a weekend of dry weather so that me and my uncle can go ahead and rent that unit and go at it. Unfortunately, the weather has not been very favorable, so the gardening work is on hold for the time being until we can continue. That probably means, depending on the agenda of my uncle and the availability of that machine, that the first weekend in the Netherlands that we are going to have 2 sunny days is probably when I won't be able to stream, because me and my uncle will probably be cutting tiles to size. After that's done, basically the rest of the yard can be addressed, i.e. the lawn can be ordered and ground can be prepared, assuming temperatures are going to be above 0. Now, Danny, good morning. Martijn, goedemorgen. Hope everybody is doing alright on this Monday morning. I will do a briefing later when given the time, but we have incoming flights back to back for the time being. The next airplane, Jet, all white, 737-800, flight 360, arriving from Belgrade, which is a flight time of 2 hours and 8 minutes for this airplane. 11 years old. Not exactly sure for which airline this is flying. Hadi Klaas, goedemorgen. Nigel, good morning. As I was walking up here, I did see some birds in the water, some ducks, but for the time being they seem to have gone again. Also wasn't able to spot any members of the crow family. I think you might be right, Marissa, flying for Air Serbia. Makes sense. The next airplane is Delta Airlines Flight 136, arriving from Detroit. It's an A350-900. Flight time has been 6 hours and 40 minutes thus far. The airplane is 6 years old already. First flight was in May 2017. That an A350 butt shot coming in? I think it might be. Why, yes it is. Now I did put on my gloves, but I do miss some tactile feedback from it, so considering it's not very cold nor very windy, I'm going to take them off again and just going to put them on when my hands are getting somewhat cold. Makes for much better camera control. Right, let's quickly turn around. Got more heavies coming in. 2 Dreamliners back to back. This one KLM flight 618 arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. It's a 787-9 Dreamliner. Only 5 hours and 49 minutes of flight time, so I think it might have had tailwind underway. 8 years old, first flight, October 2015. And Stefan, good morning, tuning in. Steve from Slovakia, tuning in. T-Mac, good morning. Good morning, Tiger74. Hope all is well. Singapore Airlines, Dallas, good morning. Leo, good morning. Right, the next Dreamliner is American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philly, Philadelphia, 7878, the baby of the bunch. 6 hours 18 minutes in the air right now, 3 years old, first flight April 2020. Behind it is Delta Airlines Flight 74 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, Airbus A330-300, you can see it in the top left. First, this flying AMS Live logo. Ronald, goedemorgen. Wow. Hardly any time to do a little briefing. Not much going on. There are a few 747s on the way. I would like to show you those. The A380 is arriving earlier. A380 is arriving earlier than it did on Saturday and the days before due to us having gone to winter time. There is a KLM 747 arriving around 1 o'clock. I think that's going to be the last airplane for today. Nice airplane to close off with. I think it's also arriving from the west if I'm not mistaken, so that should in theory land on Polderbaan up close. Miss Wolves, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Loco Loco, good morning. Loco Loco is tuning in from a very damp North Yorkshire. Happy to see that at least we had, for the time being, a bit decent weather. But if I show you guys... Well, no, let's just wait. Yeah. Don't want to be cluttering your footage, the footage with data when there's a big bird coming. We should be able to make out 3 airplanes somewhere. I'm not sure if we can see all 3. Let me have a look on the computer screen. Yes, we do see them. In the foreground, Delta Airlines Flight 74, Airbus A330-300, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, has been flying now for 7 hours and 42 minutes. The airplane, 20 years old already, began flying in August of the year 2003. warm welcome to all other viewers who have joined us in the meantime. Michelle, good morning. Thank you for your kind words. Michelle writes, great show already, thanks. Well, we've only just begun. But thank you already for liking the show, Michelle. Hey there, Beryl, good morning. Indeed, nice landing, wasn't it? Not the longest of wheelies, but definitely very pretty to watch. Not the loudest, but that is okay. And then the great taxi back to the gate begins. Singapore Airlines Dallas has seen a Korean Air 747 on SID Squad today. Nice. Do we... I don't think... Well, we do sometimes get Korean 747s over here. Jendrosek, good morning. Riskila, good morning. This is Finnair Flight 1301 arriving from Helsinki. A321 touching down after 2 hours and 22 minutes in the air. 6 years old, first flight, March 2017. Star Alliance livery. Hey, I'm clicking on the wrong airplane. Lufthansa in the Star Alliance livery arriving from Frankfurt A319. I was too far north on flight radar on my screen. Apologies. Lufthansa flight 988. This is hailing from Frankfurt. Now we're going to see the Finnair A321. What a mistake to make. Finnair flight 1301 A321 arriving from Helsinki. Now 2 hours and 23 minutes of air time. 6 years old, first flight March 2017. Got Air Canada 808 behind it. 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Toronto. Let us quickly turn around for that. Hey Lance, good morning mate. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Here we have Air Canada flight 808. James, good morning. Temp account, good morning. Swady, good morning. Bon dia. World Aviation, good morning. SLDKJH, good morning. Right, Air Canada flight 808, 7879 Dreamliner, originating from Toronto. 6 hours and 20 minutes of flight time under its belt right now. She's 7 years old, first flight was in March 2016. Alright, Freebird Airlines is coming next. Hailing from Dubrovnik. A320. Another lovely glide slope shot for Jerry. 3 airplanes visible. The Freebird A320 from Dubrovnik in the foreground, followed by an A320neo arriving from London Gatwick, Easyjet. Number 3, KLM arriving from Johannesburg, 777-300 ER. J.A. Riley, good morning. Thanks for the kind words, mate. Nice to hear back from you that you're liking the channel. Freebird. Flight 8521 arriving from Dubrovnik. That's Croatia, isn't it? Flight time 2 hours 15 minutes. The airplane 16 years old. First flight January 2007. Haha, Bill Vic, thank you for just subbing. Hey Jillard, goedemorgen. Jillard is informing us that the A340 from Surinam Airways that we saw depart yesterday is going to arrive back in 45 minutes. That's good news. Arriving from the west, so even with parallel arrivals, it will land. On this runway, very likely, most likely. Freebird buckshot is coming in. You can see it making a left-hand turn. Come on, a bit further. Yeah, yeah. There we go. Boom. Hey there, Ross. Good morning. Scooter, good morning. Don't fly too close to the sun. Careful. Easyjet A320neo arriving from London Gatwick. 44 minutes of flight time. 4-year-old airplane. You might also pick up the sound of a departing Embraer 190. Which is going to Gdansk in Poland. Nice warm morning colors. Let's quickly turn back. The 777 from Johannesburg getting ever closer. Next to arrive is KLM flight 592. Flight time from Johannesburg back to Amsterdam thus far has been 10 hours and 22 minutes. It's 300 ER, 6 years old, first flight September 2017. I think we might have a little break after the landing of this airplane, so I can also brief you guys in. Even without applying reversers, or hardly, I'm not sure if they even did apply them. You can still see the spray from the wheels. We did have rain overnight. And somewhere in the distance, flying base from the east, is an A319 from Lufthansa arriving from Munich, which gives us a few moments to have a look at what is going on. So let me crouch behind the laptop, show you guys some things. Also, a very Big thank you to Malky Stoddard for 3 months of AMS Live membership already. Thank you for your continued support, Malky. And Malky writes, thanks again for bringing us excellent action, boy. Well, my pleasure. Happy to have you as a member. Hope you'll stay a member for many more months to come. So, this is the current situation. Let me refresh. It is CAF okay. Ceiling and visibility are okay. It's quite boring actually. The wind is 11 knots from 180 degrees, so that is a headwind. Temperature is 11 degrees Celsius. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more, which is logical because it's CAF okay. No significant changes expected. Let's quickly go over to the weather radar. This is an extrapolation for the coming 3 hours. Not sure if this is actually rain, probably not. If you scroll ahead, might be a little bit of moisture, but if you look at the past hour, I think it's not going to amount to anything reaching the ground. It also looks, this is the past hour, back and forth, you can see that it's also dissolving as it moves north. So I think we should be good until 1 p.m, which is when the last airplane for the show is going to arrive, a KLM 747. I will show you in a minute. And confirming what I already thought, this is now once again the only runway used for arrivals. Kaagbaan and Alsmeerbaan both being used for departures. What can we expect? Well, there are 2 747s incoming. And this is the only runway being used for arrivals, so they have to land on this runway. Expected in 15 minutes is the Kühne and Nagel Atlas Air 7478 arriving from Atlanta. So we might pick it up as it is turning downwind. We'll be flying most likely in this direction, and we can see that looking to the left. Also arriving Saudia Cargo 7474, expected at 10:30, so nicely separated. And I think those are the only 747s before the A380. The A380 itself is expected around 12:30. Might gain a few minutes, or lose a few minutes. And then now it's 10 to 1. This is going to be the last airplane for today, the Martin Air KLM Cargo 747-400. There's also an Air China inbound, but that is expected around 2 p.m. That's too late for me. I'm not going to pick that one up, but we are going to see 3 queens and 1 king before the show ends. Back to the studio. All right. In the meantime, our next airplane has become visible, so let me stand up. Hopefully don't get dizzy. Crouching behind the laptop can induce a little bit of lightheadedness when you do get up. Right, here we go. Our next airplane, Lufthansa Flight 2302, Airbus A319, arriving from Munich. Flight time thus far 1 hour and 8 minutes. The airplane is 27 years old already. First flight was in June 1996. So it's a millennial. Further to the north, a TUI Dreamliner arrival from Curaçao is approaching the glide slope from the left. I'm not sure if we can pick up on it. It does look a little bit hazy looking to the north. We saw just now, you could see 3 airplanes, but it was a bit more hazy than yesterday. Yesterday it was crisp, and now it's a little bit milky. And Aphrodite also, congratulations on celebrating 4 months of AMS Live membership. Thank you so much for your continued support, and also thank you for all the help you have been doing as a moderator. Happy to have you on the team. Hope you're going to stay on for a long time to come, but that's all up to you. It's all, that goes for every moderator. It's all on a voluntary basis. If it's no longer convenient for you, just say the word. But I sure hope to have you around for a long time to come. Congratulations once again, Aphrodite. The D'Ela. Now Easyjet also has an airplane registered GEZUS, so Jesus flies for Easyjet. I'm still waiting for the coming of Jesus, the next coming of Jesus, but so far he's testing us. But I'm sure in the end our patience will be rewarded. We can see some contrails now and then. You can see looking to the south, we do have a bit more cloudiness over there, but then again, looking over here, you can see there's also quite a bit of blue. Got an airplane that just took off from runway 24, coming our way. Then again, we also have heavies on the glide slope, so, or at least one heavy. Let's see if we can pick that up. There we go. That is the TUI Dreamliner. Behind it should be a 737 from KLM, entering the glide slope from the left. Arrival from Paris Charles de Gaulle, 737-900. Let's have a look. Can we see it? Yeah, vaguely. At 8 to 9 o'clock. In the meantime, a good morning to all the other viewers who have joined in the meantime. Donna, good morning. Happy Monday. Dirk, goedemorgen. Liewe, goedemorgen kerel. Pieter, goedemorgen. Miss Wolves, no, Miss Wolves I already said hi to. Simon, goedemorgen. Good morning. Wouldn't that be nice if they were building a new house for me over there? Missed a lot of the messages yesterday, so yesterday evening I went through the chat of yesterday's stream. The Dixie is still there, Lance, so you can still place your bets as to when and where it's going to end up on the runway area due to the wind. It is said that later in the week it is getting windy again. Then again, it's also getting more rainy, I think they said, so would be nice if it would be windy and dry. I will keep a close eye out on the weather predictions the next couple of days. This is TUI flight 356. Belgian registered TUI Dreamliner 7878 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. After 8 hours and 52 minutes, it's about to touch down. The airplane is 8 years old. First flight was in January 2015. The next two airplanes visible already, 737-900 from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Behind it, huh? Already? Aeromexico Flight 25 arriving from Mexico City. That is weird. Several hours ahead of schedule. Now, big thank you to Keith for just becoming a member of the Aurora Sky Lounge. Welcome to the club, buddy. I hope you will enjoy. All the custom emojis are at your disposal right now. Thank you for your support, and I hope you like it in the lounge. Welcome once again, Keith. Peculiar to see that Aeromexico already. Normally it would arrive a bit later, so that is interesting. This is KLM flight 1224 coming back home from Paris, which took this airplane 43 minutes. 22 years old already, first flight August 2001. Begum, good morning. Tristan, good morning. Steve 88, good morning. Privet Leonid. Lugalobi, good morning or good afternoon. Tuning in from Uganda. Lars, goedemorgen. Gerrit, goedemorgen. If you guys are thinking, it sounds like I'm hearing water running, you're right, it is this little unit over here. There are some stones in front of it, so it makes a little noise like a little waterfall. Nice and calming, but if you're thinking, it sounds like I'm hearing water in the background, that's it. Now, Aero Mexico Flight 25 already arriving from Mexico City. 7879 Dreamliner, 9 hours and 39 minutes of flight time. She's 4 years old, first flight March 2019. A little earlier than normal, even discounting for the winter time difference. But there you go. The next airplane is Turkish A330 arriving from Istanbul. And also a warm welcome to Johnny. John, goedemorgen. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you for becoming a member. Hope you'll find it a nice place, the lounge, the Aurora Sky Lounge, with all the emojis at your disposal. Thank you for your support. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge once again. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. In the top left, the first queen, she's coming. Before that, Turkish A330 plus Air Baltic. Where is it? Well, there it is. Going to Riga. This is Turkish flight 1951. Nominal flight time 3 hours and 7 minutes. Gotta love the morning lighting. Alright, well, let's quickly turn back the camera for the Kühne and Nagel 7478 from Air Atlas, no, Atlas Air, sorry, flight 7482, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia today, flight time 7 hours and 22 minutes thus far. The airplane is relatively new. In fact, I was told the other day when it also arrived that this is the second to last 747 ever built. First flight of this airplane was in October last year. So it's a year old. 2 more airplanes are visible behind it. What a lovely glide slope shot. Glide slope shot, glide slope shot, glide slope shot. Wow! Like a ninja. Almost inaudible. Who knew they could serve both ends of the sound spectrum? Absolutely amazing. While we were watching the 747 come in, Vinny was doing something different in the meantime, namely gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that, Vinny. Very, very, very much appreciated. A warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new 5 members. Don't forget to say thank you to Vinny if you just got gifted a membership by him. Vincent, once again, a big, big thank you. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new members. We're inching towards 700. At 700 members, another emoji slot will become available. So if it's not going to happen today, it will probably happen very soon. Now, there's also a contrail, a quad, moving west to east. Could be an A380 going to Dubai. Not sure about that. But first, let's have a look at this A320 Neo from Easyjet arriving from London Luton. Butt shot coming in. Be prepared. While we're watching this behind scene, let me go back to the laptop and say a big thank you to Tony. Tony Alvarez just super stickered a pair character lifting some weights saying keep it up. Well, now that's exactly what I intend to do. Continue lifting weights, continue keeping it up, continue streaming. Thank you so much for that very nice super sticker, Tony. I will definitely abide to your advice. Thank you so much. And this is an A321 Neo from Pegasus arriving from Istanbul. Flight 1251. Tony asks the name of the videographer. My name is Boy, B-O-Y, not a girl but a boy. And that is actually my first name. Not very common in the Netherlands, or anywhere probably. So I'm doomed to always stay a boy. Bit like Peter Pan. Except I'm unable to fly. Well, at least not without using something with engines. No time to waste. We have double Dreamliners coming in. The first one, a 7879, arriving from Las Vegas. KLM flight 636. There's more coming immediately behind it. Flight time of this airplane was 9 hours and 8 minutes, and the airplane is 5 years old. Its first flight, August 2018. And again, no time to linger. The next Dreamliner is already making its way over here. Its bigger sibling, the 78710. This one is KLM flight 741, arriving from Cartagena. And that is in Colombia, isn't it? Or is it another I think it's a city in Colombia, but do correct me if I'm wrong. Austrian Wolf, good morning. Good to see you again, buddy. Hope all is well. Servus. Hitman Agent 47, good morning. This is KLM flight 741, 787-10 Dreamliner. Flight time from Cartagena to Amsterdam thus far 9 hours and 20 minutes. The airplane younger than the previous one. This one is 3 years old, first flight November 2019. How much smoother is the following of airplanes when there is not a lot of wind and you can do it barehandedly. So much better than yesterday when it was quite windy and shaky. This is even without image stabilizer enabled. Don't even need it. Queen number 2 is coming. It will be preceded by an A330-200 arriving from Canada. Now, also, if you like stuff like this and you have done so already, don't forget to give the stream a like. And if you want to receive updates, notifications of when I'm going live in the future, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. The first airplane we see is KLM flight 696, Airbus A330-200 arriving from Toronto. Flight time 6 hours and 40 minutes. The Airbus is 16 years old. Its first flight November 2006, and behind it is Queen 2 of 3, Saudia Cargo, flight 933 arriving from Jeddah, 747-400 freighter BDSF. She's relatively old, 28 years old. First flight of the 747 was in 1995 in January. The airplane has been underway now for 5 hours and 35 minutes to get from Jeddah to where it is right now. And if that isn't enough fun, playtime will be next after the 747. Misom Sky Team, good morning. Johan, goedemorgen. Perfect timing, you guys. The second Queen of 3 that we're going to see today. The Saudia 747 arriving from Jeddah. And behind it, in the top left, is the plane. 3 airplanes visible. Behind the airplane is Tarom, flying the 737-800 in from Bucharest. This is Saudia Cargo, flight 933, arriving from Jeddah. 5 hours and 37 minutes of flight time, and again, 28 years old. The first flight of this airplane in January 1995. What were you doing back then? rather subdued, quiet landing. Very modest. Little butt shot momentarily. Cannot call it a full-blown butt shot though. Beautifully illuminated by the sun, which is vaguely shining through what clouds there are in front of it. The next airplane is Freebird A320 Neo, arriving from Reykjavik, flight 460, flight time 2 hours 50 minutes thus far. A 1-year-old airplane. Slowly making its way over here, giving me a few moments to crouch behind the laptop to say a big thank you to Vincent. Vinny just gifted another AMS Live membership, and Lenny was gifted the membership. So don't forget to say thank you to Vinny, who just gifted you the membership. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Lenny. And Vinny, thank you once again. It's playtime. The next airplanes on flight radar look like have little separation. No butt shot. Ooh. Bummer. Well, the next airplane is already getting quite close. And the next one behind it is already visible in the close-up shot. Tarom flight 361, it's a 737-800 arriving from Bucharest, flight time 2 hours and 41 minutes. A 6-year-old airplane that had its first flight in April 2017. And also a big thank you to Tony, who just became a member of the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you so much for your support there, Tony. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the club. Hope you like it here. Tarom butt shot is incoming though. No play butt, but we do get a Tarom butt to boot. And also a very big welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge for Ronald, who also just became a member. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for choosing AMS Live, Ronald. Hope you enjoyed the lounge. Welcome. Thank you for your support. Up next is Croatia Airlines A319 arriving from Zagreb. The daily flight 450. Today the airplane has taken 1 hour and 50 minutes to get here from Zagreb thus far. The airplane is 25 years old. It's a millennial. First flight of this airplane was in May 1998. Lenny, I'm jealous. Being in Japan the next 3 weeks. Mate, there are so much more interesting things to do and see when in Japan than watch a stream from Amsterdam. You can always watch the rerun when you get back. Definitely do sightseeing and enjoy life there. not sit on the room of your hotel or whatever where you're staying and watch live streams. I'm jealous. I wish I could go to Japan for 3 weeks. Been there in, was it? I think 2016? A week in Tokyo. Just seen Tokyo alone. What a blast. Such friendly folk. It is hard to get by there speaking English. Only in the most touristy places do they speak a bit of English. The Japanese, on average, is my experience. Although younger people do speak English more often. Desperately want to go back there and also have a look at the rest of the country. This is Easyjet A319 arriving from Copenhagen, and also seeing the first airplane going to runway center in the distance. So they have reopened center. It's a configuration that we have seen for weeks on end now, because the prevailing wind, while varying between southeast and southwest, has been coming from the south mostly. It's been ages since I've stood at the other side doing some departures. The first airplane, an Embraer from KLM, going to runway center. Right, well, Jackie has to go again. No worries. We'll still be around at a later date, so thanks for joining in your inaugural session as a moderator. Hope you liked it. Hey Bart, goedemorgen kerel. Tristan is informing us that the A340 is coming up in 6 minutes. That's good news. And this is Electra Airways. Electra Airways, but not flying with electric engines yet. Well, no time to waste. We have another big bird coming in. Arriving. Oh, that's the wrong airplane. Arriving from JFK, New York JFK. This is KLM Flight 644, 777-300 ER. It's been flying now for 6 hours and 12 minutes on this flight, and it's been flying in total now for 11 years. Started in June 2012. There's also a triple coming to the center runway from Qatar, arriving from Doha. And the next airplane behind this airplane is a 787-10 arriving from Panama City. So the Qatar triple looks like it's a little bit ahead, so might be able to catch them all. Just like Pokemon, gotta catch them all. Danny, goedemorgen. Right, well. Here we have Qatar. And are those vortices that we see behind it? Is that vortices that we're picking up? Let me have a look at my laptop screen. Yeah. Flap tip vortices. Nice to see. So this is a Qatar 777 arriving from Doha. Flight time 6 hours and 20 minutes. Qatar Airways. It's passenger flight A300ER. 12 years old, first flight November 2010. Right, well, we'll have to go back to what is going on over here because there's a Dreamliner 10 about to touch down, arriving from Panama City. KLM flight 758, 787-10 Dreamliner. Flight time 9 hours and 35 minutes. From the front they look relatively small, but you have to zoom out quite a distance to get it in the frame when moving past you. Now Jerry, thank you so much for your continued support, celebrating 7 months of membership already. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Thank you so much for your continued support, Jerry. Always a pleasure to have you on the stream. Hope you're going to stay around for many more months to come. And also, Johan, welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. Hope you like it over here. All the custom emojis are now at your disposal to use whenever you want. Thank you for your support, Johan. Hope you're going to like it in the lounge. Right. Leen, goedemorgen. Gamer Gorgeous, thank you for your kind words. Let's have a look. 2 airplanes coming in. Got a small 737-700 arriving from Geneva. Up next. Short flight, 1 hour and 15 minutes. The airplane 14 years old. First flight, March 2009. Hey, that's not good news, Marissa. Surinam is going to center. Why? Michael and Kevo, good morning. Tuning in from Brentwood Karting in England. Nice. Although I like karting, did it a couple of times, but after a few heats, my back would always be sore and bruised for a week or so after just a few heats of a couple of minutes. Never figured out how those guys that do kart matches even keep up so long. Very nice. Bosch gang, good morning. Hey there, Evelyn, good morning. Lucas, good morning. Lena, goedemorgen. Right, let's have a look. Surinam is now entering the glide slope for center. Thinking maybe the clouds are in the way, or is that it? Is that it? No, don't think it is. So we have to go a little lower and more to the left. Is that it then? No, I think we're now watching airplanes. Yeah, that's... Oh wait, well maybe it was. Thought it was an airplane on the glide slope for the Polderbaan, but it wasn't. Didn't look like it. Right, well, Captain Wheelie is not behind the steering wheel of this Embraer 190, that's for sure. That would have been fun. Unfortunately, no dice. The next airplane to arrive is a 737 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. And thank you so much, Jerry, for your super chat. No 18C, absolutely. Now, unfortunately, it's going to take a while before the runway will be closed again for maintenance. We are going to be lucky in the next calendar year in that the Kaagbaan will close for a couple of months for major maintenance. So that will mean more usage of other runways, and I think that's going to be interesting. Hey there, Georgios, good morning. Captain Cripple. Captain Cripple, what a nice name. Limping through life. Good morning. Right, so the 737 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, KLM flight 1228, now touching down on Polderbaan. The A340 is behind it already. Let's have a look. Is it a wheelie? Just a tiny one, or whoa, a bit longer. Right, there it is. Inching away to the runway, the wrong runway though. Surinam Airways A340-300 flight 994 arriving from Paramaribo, the capital of Surinam. This airplane thus far has taken 8 hours and 33 minutes to get here. This particular airplane is 15 years old. First flight was in April 2008. Ah, well, if you are in a wheelchair, Captain Cripple is indeed a very aptly chosen name. So you're not limping through life, but rolling through life then. Hey Valentijn, goedemorgen. Well, it seems that looking on flight radar, we'll have to wait a bit for traffic to go to Polderbaan once again. Let me also try to look around. Is there an inspection going on? Not seeing any yellow pickup trucks with their lights on yet. Might also just be a coincidence. Moment of quiet. So 3 747s and 1 A340, if I counted correctly, which leaves us with 1 A380 and around quarter to 1 o'clock, one more 747, the KLM Cargo 747. Sure if you guys picked it up, but I did hear a little bit of the reversers being applied. Not as loud as the A380's one. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, there is another Embraer coming this way, arriving from Norwich. Do get the impression, looking at the rippliness in the water that the wind is picking up a little bit. Let's have a look and see, shall we? So first of all, let's start with what we are still expecting. This is the Saudia 747 that landed just now. This is going to be the last airplane of the show. Now, once again, expected around 1 p.m. KLM Cargo arriving from Miami. It's coming in from the west, so it's going to land on Polderbaan, very likely. Not sure about this one. The daily Emirates flight 147 arriving from Dubai, now flying over Hungary, entering Slovakian and then Austrian airspace. Expected to arrive in an hour and 45 minutes, if my math is correct. Weather-wise, this is I just refreshed the last hour. And again, I'm not sure, well, you can see it already dissipating as it moves north, so we're going to stay dry until the end of the stream. Let's also have a look at the runway configuration. Yeah, it's parallel arrivals once again, and I also already had that in the ticker, so the ticker is now once again current. Okay, and the METAR, let's see, 190, 10 knot wind, so it's mostly headwind. Visibility at ground level 10 kilometers or more, as has been the case all the time. Few clouds at 1,100 feet, visualized over here. Temperature 11 degrees Celsius. 11 times 2, 22, that's 52 degrees Fahrenheit approximately. Right, so that is what we are going to expect for the next 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let me also update the ticker with that METAR we saw just now. I just copied it, paste, adjust the font, color, type, size, paste. There we go. Right, back to the camera controls. It is then the next airplane to arrive is number 175. KLM flight 1516 arriving from Norwich. Now the hands are starting to get a little cold again, so time to put on the heated gloves. They are slippery, so I do try to use them as little as possible because my following accuracy decreases because of it. But it decreases even more if the fingers get cold and stiff. And also quite tight to put on. Took a little longer. Embraer butt shot coming in. There you go. Lovely. Hey John, good afternoon. Good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well down under. Now, macro overview, looking to the south, still some nebulosity and some blue. I'm also hearing an airplane pass over. That is a twin actually, flying to the, well, it's too hard to see. Saw a glimpse of it, but it's too nebulous to see properly. Got a few narrow bodies coming in now, starting with this one. This is KLM flight 1002, 737-800 arriving from London Heathrow. Flight time 43 minutes, so that's par for the course. The airplane is 22 years old, first flight November 2000. One downside I noticed yesterday, after having used the heated gloves yesterday for the first time during streaming, when one of the two batteries ran empty and the other one was nearly empty, put them in the charger as I got home, and it was not before 9 p.m. that the lights started to indicate that the batteries were fully charged. So I was very disappointed by the low speed with which the charger seems to function. Not sure if I can amp that up, but that was really disappointing. This is an A320neo arriving from Birmingham, flight time 45 minutes, Easyjet flight 27846. Brand new airplane, meaning less than a year old. First flight was in December 2022, so this airplane will be turning 1 year in 2 months from now. Still beautiful lighting over here. Next up is Iberia Express arriving from Madrid. It's an A320, followed by a Ryanair 737. Now yesterday the Ryanair that landed from Dublin used a lot of the reversers, was nice and noisy. Hopefully this one will do too. First, the Iberia Express A320 arriving from Madrid. Flight time 1 hour and 49 minutes. 10-year-old airplane, first flight May 2013. Iberian butt shot coming in. Beautiful. Right, next up is the Ryanair 737 arriving from Dublin, flight 420. Not seeing any airplanes immediately behind it. There is one further north. Embraer 190 arrival from Bristol. Though I'm not yet seeing it. some good reversers on them, the 737s. So it's just that a lot of the airplanes landing here are from KLM, and KLM almost never seems to be using them. Hey there, Yin Cathay Spotter, good morning, good to see you. Hope all is well. Yeah, and judging the landings of Ryanair over here at Schiphol, you wonder how they get that name, that their landings are rough and bumpy. Most of them over here seem to be landing just fine. More departing traffic passing over us to the north. And we're also expecting a German Airways Embraer 190 flying for KLM. There it is, arriving from Bristol. KLM flight 1050 is the flight that this Embraer is flying. Flight time 48 minutes as we speak. Now, ITA Air A320 Neo arriving from Rome. Should be arriving on runway center behind the German Airways Embraer we are now looking at. So might also be nice to have a look at after we're done with this Embraer. Could be the trade-off, Drew. Fuel savings by not using reversers versus additional brake maintenance. I also try to brake using the engine as much as possible when driving my car. I'm pretty sure something similar is also applying to airplane engines. Right, Embraer 190, German Airways, flying for KLM, arriving from Bristol. Not Choc-y, unfortunately. We haven't seen Choc-y in the last couple of streams, or have we? I don't think we did. Also, speaking of missing in the stream thus far, firefighters. Didn't see them do their round as I was approaching here and setting up. Nor have I seen them since, so either they're having the day off or maybe they're doing a late round. No bad shot from the Embraer. But we can't have it all, can we? Here we have the beautiful Azzurro from ITA Airways, or ITA Air, what is it? ITA Airways, right? Now I'm trying to press on the info on flight radar, losing the airplane. ITA Airways. Arriving from Rome, A320 Neo. I think the flight time is nominal, 1 hour and 58 minutes. That is typical for Rome, Amsterdam. Brand new airplane. Began flying December last year, so for this airplane too, in 2 months, its first birthday. Now, you could see some rain on the weather radar as it moves north, dissipating, but there's definitely more cloudiness coming in from the south, you guys can clearly see. Also coming my way is a contrail, clearly poking through the cloudiness, and also visible, in Dutch we call it a bijzon. but I'm not sure what the English word for it is. Reflection of sunlight in the eyes of that little bit of cloud, which is also obscuring the visibility somewhat. Yeah, it's already entering into more dense, well, it's going to hide behind more dense clouds in a minute. Can make out that it is a twin jet, and the course is the standard course for traffic from Frankfurt to the to North America, I should say. Could also have taken off from Munich. I'm not able to see your chats right now because the camera is pointing up, so my phone is pointing to the ground, and I am trying to follow the airplane the best I can. Well, that's the last of it. And I think it might also have been the last of the sunlight that we are going to see for the rest of the stream. Looking to where the wind is coming from, you can see definitely more cloudiness is headed our way. The wind not as loud, or loud wind, not as hard as yesterday, but it's nothing. More contrails visible over here. We've got two actually. One moving away. So we need to have a look at that first. That's a twin jet. And no, still needed to zoom out a little bit. Oh, well, in hindsight, maybe looking at this one would have been better. Also a twin jet by the looks of it. Hey there, Michael Jackson, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Ah, hello. Thanks, Bart. At any rate, oh, look at this. The Crow family has returned, it seems like. The posse. Now, oh, they've brought the entire family along. They were probably chilling at the Crow bar. Russell and Cheryl. Now Russell you can make out easily, he's always the loudest. This is an A320 Neo arriving from Geneva. Flight time 1 hour and 10 minutes. Hey, that's good news. Thanks, Marissa, who says that Choc-y is expected around 11:30, so in 25 minutes from now, arriving from Glasgow. Hey there, Charles. Not Ray Charles, but Charles Ray. Welcome to the show, mate. Hope all is well. Alright, Halo, but in the book it says Maxon. Well, anyway, you guys saw what I meant. Optical phenomenon. The interaction of light and water. Got another airplane going to center. Let's have a look. That looks like a lipstick from Norwegian. Still, apologies for the uneven following. I am wearing my heated gloves and I'm still trying to figure out what modus works best. Takes a little getting used to. I always use rubber bands, but I miss the tactile feedback that you get from having that in your finger. directly. Also, the gloves are a bit slippery, so when you are trying to reach for the zoom rocker, your finger sometimes slips off it. That sounds like I'm making excuses, but I'm just telling you factually what I am encountering with gloves on versus bare-handed camera operation. There is a person depicted on the tail, and that would be Bjornsterne Bjornsson, according to flight radar. Not sure who that is. Norwegian Airways. Well, in the meantime, I'm seeing a couple of lights. Well, one pair of lights in the distance. Let me also see if the camera can pick it up. Oh yeah, there it is. So we have traffic coming to Polderban once again. And in the time that traffic was sparse, I never really saw bird controller. Well, the bird controller is present, but it looks like it is just standing there being still. Russell is saying hi, the loudest of the bunch. That's him. You heard it. He said hi just now. You guys probably picked that up on the mic. Mr. Russell Crowe. Wind is picking up, definitely. Locking the tripod will mitigate some of the vibrations. Alrighty, well, back to work, Russell says. You're right. Let's go back to manual focus and also go back to operating the camera. Have a look at the next airplane that in the meantime has gotten closer by. Embraer 170, Air France up and away. Arriving from Lyon, flight 1794. Flight time has been 1 hour and 10 minutes. 14-year-old airplane, first flight March 2009. No butt shots, but we do get a nice bird control shot. One of the Ford Ranger Raptors. Now, I'm happy to say that the ducks are still alive and kicking, but they are camera shy, or they have gotten camera shy, it seems like. They were there when I was walking up here. And Russell and the bros are not camera shy at all. They're actually getting closer and closer by. They don't seem to be afraid. Well, or maybe they have gotten some Dutch courage when chilling in the crowbar. Also got a lovely Azzurro tractor over there, ready to do some harvesting, presumably. Morgen! That would be the bird controller from K4, saying hi. Always nice to see them over here, keeping things safe. Right, next up is KLM in the SkyTeam livery, Embraer 190. There we go. KLM flight 984 arriving from London City. Flight time 39 minutes. The airplane 11 years old. First flight April 2012. And indeed, Austrian Wolf. Family members with feathers. Feathery family members. Yorkshire Biker, good morning buddy, good to see you Paul, hope all is well. Little wheelie. Always looks lovely, this livery, when the sun is shining on it. I think it does look better on the 777-300, but it also looks nice on this one. Niels asks about the nets, and I think they're for crayfish, or in Dutch, the rivierkreeften, which are exotic, invasive exotics that aren't supposed to be here but don't have any natural enemies and are disturbing the ecosystem balance. So I think they're trying to catch them. Now, the hands have warmed up, so I'm turning off the gloves and I'm putting them off again. Taking them off again, I should say. So that camera operation barehanded is again what it's supposed to be, particularly when there's not too much wind. Don't want to induce any unnecessary jitteriness if I don't have to. Right, this is KLM flight 1422 arriving from Birmingham. Is that the third airplane from KLM arriving from Birmingham this morning already? It's the second or the third, but I think it's the third already. KLM style landing, keep up the speed, vacate late, sooner to the gate. Flight time 45 minutes for this airplane, 15 years old, first flight May 2008. Next up is JetBlue, arriving from Boston, Massachusetts, A321neo. Flight time of 6 hours and 16 minutes to get from Boston to over here. The airplane is brand new and this one is really brand spanking new. First flight was in September this year, so it only began service last month. Now, I'm also looking on flight radar. There should be a 737 from Transavia behind. I'm not seeing it on my screen, but the sun is actually getting out from behind the clouds a little bit more, so I'm also dealing with a few reflections. Let me well, we'll see it soon enough. JetBlue butt shot coming in. You just know it's going to happen. Have a look at the engines. You can see through them so well in the right angle and light, which is not there today. It looks like, at least not on my screen, but with a little bit more of light from the front, you could see through those engines. You can see how really tiny those cores are. Really beautiful. Meanwhile, traffic to the center runway is also continuing. What is this? Is this ETF or? Aegean. Ah. Right, Transavia arriving from Palma de Mallorca up next. Flight 5624, 737-800. Flight time from Palma de Mallorca to Amsterdam thus far, 1 hour and 54 minutes. The airplane is 6 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in March 2017. Right, so it does get jittery again. It has to do with the wind, which is picking up compared with the beginning of the stream. Beautiful lighting though. Big picture looks a bit different. Still some cloudiness in the south, southeast. Now looking to the southwest, more blue. The wind is mostly coming from the south, so from this direction. So it looks like most of the cloudiness will pass east of us. Jin asks about the coots. Unfortunately, I didn't see them. I did see ducks as I was walking over here earlier this morning, but I don't see them anymore. They are still alive, but they're good at hiding. I think they did a ninja course from the crow family. Learned all the tricks, staying out of sight. So unfortunately, no coots. Embraer 175 arriving from Southampton is up next. It is KLM flight 918. Flight time from Southampton to where it is right now has been 51 minutes. The airplane, 6 years old. First flight January 2017. another butt shot. Plus a departure from runway 24. Hard to make out any details with the lighting. But it's climbing, so it's not an A340. That much we can tell with a high degree of certainty. Let's turn around. The next airplane making its way over here. KLM. Or is it? No, it's TUI. TUI relocation flight, it seems like, arriving from Brussels. Max 8. Brussels, Amsterdam. So far this airplane has taken 30 minutes to get here. It's a 4-year-old airplane that had its first flight in November 2018. And the max butt shot is incoming. Niels asks about the city hopper only being used for short flights. Well, it's used for flights within Europe, so they do sometimes fly longer distances than an hour, but they are short-haul airplanes used within Europe, so it's never longer than a couple of hours. And as the sun is shining once again, our next airplane is an Easyjet A319 arriving from London Gatwick. And when are the next heavies arriving? Oh, the next heavy looks like KLM flight 767, which is an A330, obviously the running gag of KLM, assigning airplane type flight numbers to airplanes that are flights that are flown in different airplanes than the type of the flight number, if you guys are still following it. Right, so Easyjet A319 visiting us from London Gatwick. 15-year-old airplane. Vacating via the first exit, as many airplanes have been doing this morning. Still a bit of moisture in sight. Now, another airplane arriving from Brussels, 737-800 from KLM. Bit hard to see further out with the sun immediately shining behind me. Doesn't look like there's much on the glide slope already. There's another hard to see. Indeed, Marissa, the A330 is now number 3 for arrival. preceded by another 737-800 arriving from Manchester. And now Freebird informing us about the A380 that is now entering German airspace. So expected in an hour or so from now, and expected in just under 1.5 hours from now, the last airplane for today, the 747 from KLM Cargo, arriving from Miami. Right, whoa, where is that A330 then? Let me have a look on the laptop screen. Yeah, the clouds are interfering. Normally we would have easily been able to spot it, but they're all hidden from sight due to the clouds that we see in the background. Unfortunately, they're not just background clouds, but they are interfering with our view of the glide slope, unfortunately. Now things are looking to open up again, so the clouds seem to be moving more to the left of the screen right now. That is to the east. You can even see another contrail from what looks like a quad-engined airplane, but it is quite far south of me, and only a little bit north of me is an A330, so let's turn around and have a look at that first. KLM flight 767, flown on an A330-300, arriving from Bonaire. Popular destination Bonaire, a lot of flights back and forth from TUI and KLM. 9 hours and 10 minutes this airplane has taken to get here so far. The airplane is 10 years old, the first flight was in January 2013. Emirates is informing us that Choc-y is going to be behind the A330. If you're wondering what the H is, that Choc-y, German Airways, licensed for chocolatery, special livery with all kinds of chocolate goodiness on the livery. Flying for KLM City Hopper for the time being. Promising start. But in the end, not an extensive wheelie, nor the reverse thrust used. Bit of a pity. Now, next up is the DAPRI, the German licensor chocolatery Embraer 190. Also something you don't see very often is a contrail moving from south to north, almost exactly parallel to the runway. Probably going to Scandinavia or something. Most of the contrails, west-east movement, this is going almost directly to the north. And you can even see, I'm not sure if the camera can pick up on it, you should see the shadow of the contrail in the clouds that are below it. Not sure if you guys can pick it up. It should be in the center. You should see a little stripe of shadow. Hey there, Ton. Photo for you. Good morning. Good to see you again, buddy. Hope all is well. Here's Choc-y, the D-APRI Embraer 190, German Airways, licensed for chocolaterie airplane, flying for KLM City Hopper, arriving from Glasgow as KLM flight 1472, flight time 1 hour and 9 minutes. 15-year-old airplane, first flight January 2008, same age as the Orange Pride. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And the butt shot to boot, beautiful. And another departure in the background from the Kaagbaan, runway 24. Right, well, I thought we had seen the last of the sun, but it turns out it was only temporary, and now judging the sky, I would even go so far as to say that we might get a bit more sun later. No optical effects around the sun that I can see. You don't even get decent enough time to have a look around. The next airplane already landing. KLM fashion. Now, next up, an E2 Embraer 195. We haven't seen a lot of them today so far, so happy to see another E2. There it is. Big ass engines, of course. KLM flight 1106, arriving from Stockholm. Flight time 1 hour and 49 minutes in the airplane, a year old. First flight May 2022. Dreamlifter quad jet moving from east to west, north of me, south of me. Looking around, not seeing anything just yet. But would I need to look north of me, directly east of me, more south? The only contrail that I'm seeing right now has already passed. South of me, also seeing fishermen emptying the nets. Will they have caught something? Hard to see. Oh yeah. Are those crayfish that they've caught? I think you guys can see better than I can. We might see it better when they're going to the next one. They're coming this way, so they should be above Alkmaar, the Dreamlifter. Well, that's too far to the north, plus combined with this cloudiness, I won't be able to see it. We should have a decent look with the sun behind us at the fishermen that are going to pass by me in a moment. See what they're going to do. Oh yeah, those are crayfish that they're getting out. Clearly visible. Fish, but also crayfish. And crayfish they're dumping into that. So it's definitely crayfish fishing that they're doing. No, our waterfall will get drained. Or will it? Well, it won't. Oh, there's a net here as well. I never even saw it. I thought the next one was going to be from that little peninsula further up. This one. But here they have another one. Well, there's also air traffic coming in. Helvetic Airways. Embraer 190 arriving from Zurich. More harvesting going on. Harvesting on the land, harvesting in the water. You see it here live at AMS Live. Now, if you're a fan of harvesting and you haven't done so already, make sure to drop a like. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more agricultural stuff around Schiphol Airport. Plus the airplanes, of course. Looking at Flight Radar, it now seems that this once again has become the only runway for arrivals. It's around 11:40, so it looks like they are handling the runway closures and openings the same as before the switch to winter time. So that does bode well in theory for the A380, which is expected to arrive around 12:30. So maybe, just maybe, we might get to see it. I don't want to get your hopes up too high, but back before the weekend during summertime they would also close the secondary runway around 11:40 and then reopen it again around 1 o'clock. So if that is what they are going to do today, it basically has to mean that the A380 has to land on the only runway open at that time, which should be the Polderbaan then. So I'm very much looking forward to see what will happen. Now, let's also have another look. Throwing out stuff. Also not sure if those guys want to be filmed or not, so I was also trying to not show their faces, respect their privacy just when they were closer. Now they're too far away to see what they're tossing out. Probably fish. I think I saw they tossed out the fish and kept the crayfish. Right, well, number 2 should be a heavy. It should be. Normally we should be able to see it. I'm not able to. Oh well, now I do see it a little bit. Visibility is not optimal, unfortunately. Embraer 190 arriving from Bergen. And now a few more heavies are arriving after this airplane. There we go. The next airplane arriving from Cape Town, 777-200, followed by a KLM Airbus A330-300. Alright, KLM flight 598 arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. This flight thus far has taken 10 hours and 56 minutes, nearly 11 hours. The airplane is 19 years old. The first flight was in November 2003, 777-200 ER. shiny but silent. Hey Camille, long time no see. Feels like it's been a while since we last saw you in the chat. Hope all is well, buddy. Good to see you again. The next big airplane is KLM Flight 656, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Airbus A330-300, flight time 7 hours 21 minutes. The airplane is 11 years old, first flight February 2012. Hey there Elton, good morning. And that's a good question, landing slowly. Whether or not Minneapolis is a wintertime destination, because the flights to and from Minneapolis ordinarily are flown by Delta. Alright. Got another E2 Embraer 195. Hey, there's a quad passing over really over me right now. Lufthansa 747, looking at the wing shape. Is that a 7478 or is that a 400? Probably a 7478. Lucky that I heard it. Did not see anything from the corner of my eye, but it was flying almost nearly over me, just a little teensy bit south of me. Beautiful. Looks like originating from Frankfurt or Munich to a destination in North America, most likely. Well, missed the E2 of course because of it, but you guys probably won't mind. 7478 to LAX. Alright, awesome. Now, and another twin also coming this way. More or less on the same route. Also darkness at the tail, so another Lufty by the looks of it. Not sure if that's a triple or an Airbus or whatever. But it's a twin jet, that's for sure. Running into some clouds, or at least flying over some clouds. And we've got some more goodies in the air coming our way. Departure is that Finnair, I think it is. Is that the A321 going back to Helsinki? I think it might be. I think it is. All right, now let's go back to ground level so that I also can see your chats. Hey Greet, goeiemorgen. Is it still? Yeah, just about. All right, we've got traffic coming this way. Let's zoom in on it. It is not KLM, Transavia flight 5424 arriving from Pisa in Italia. Boeing 737-800, flight time 1 hour and 40 minutes. The airplane, 13 years old, first flight March 2010. It's all narrow bodies that is coming this way for the time being. Let's also have another visual look at the current status quo then. Now's a good time to do that. Only a tiniest bit of reversers. But we do have a triple arriving from Rio de Janeiro that has just turned downwind. I'm looking to my left to see if I can spot it going to the north, over the North Sea. Don't see it just yet. So let's just have another quick look at the current status quo then, shall we? Current situation over at Schiphol. Let me refresh and get the latest weather. The wind, as you guys can see, 180 degrees, 10 knot wind, headwind for the airplanes that are landing. Scattered clouds at 1,400 feet, few clouds at 1,100 feet, visibility on ground level 10 kilometers or more. Temperature is 12 degrees Celsius, pressure is rising a little bit, no significant changes in the weather expected. Current runway usage, refresh, Polderbaan, only runway used for arrivals. Same 2 runways as have been used the entire morning for departures. Another update of the weather, refresh. So you could see the cloudiness in the south. There is some rain, but that's still further down. And this is the last hour. You can also see that as it moves north, it is also dissolving a little bit. Emirates A380 now over German airspace, expected at 12:21, so still just over half an hour away. Our last airplane for today is the KLM Cargo 747 arriving from Miami, now just south of Ireland, expected at 1:07 local time. So that is for now the current status quo. Let's go back to the action at the runway then. The next airplane to arrive, Easyjet A319, arriving from London Luton. 40 minutes of flight time. 17-year-old airplane, first flight November 2005. So the pilots are faced with headwind mostly today. Earlier the wind was blowing from 190, right now 180. Not a lot of variation. All the while it's been around 10 knots, very constant. Little butt shot. And now time for some Embraer 190s. Airplanes that we seldomly see over here. Make sure to make a screenshot. You won't get to see this again soon. Oh wait, there's another one behind it. This is KLM flight 1740 arriving from Luxembourg, which still is 43 minutes of flying away. Roughly the same distance as London is. 10-year-old airplane. First flight October 2013. Celebrating its 10th anniversary this month. Well, it's almost November, so having celebrated, I should say. More behind scenes. Just a little bit of squeakiness. Oh, there's a quad jet coming from Germany. It seems like, well, I'm assuming it is coming from Germany, but might also be from somewhere else, but it's definitely coming our way. It's going to pass right close by. It will pass north of me. Right, you guys are already finding out. I'm still barely able to read the chat. Lufthansa A340 to Chicago, Malky is riding. Alright, A340 Frankfurt to Chicago. Awesome. It's running into a little bit of cloudiness, but it will come out on top. So that is the 600, or do they also fly other models? Don't know for sure actually. The Ryanair 737 loudly passing by using the thrust reversers, which they are very good at enabling. Let's see. It's going to encounter more cloudiness, so the view will probably not get any better than it is right now, or momentarily just. Right, well, enough about that. Let's go back to the ground level action. Because there is a big bird coming in, arriving from Rio de Janeiro, KLM flight 706, 777-200 ER. Has been flying for 10 hours and 35 minutes to get here from Rio de Janeiro. Can we see the airplane behind it? Yes, barely. Another big bird following it. This is the PHBQH. 19 years old, first flight, September 2004. Alright, Aphrodite informing us with sad news, namely that center has opened. So that is around 12 o'clock then, okay. Well, it's probably going to stay open for more than half an hour. Butterfly. Is that over there? No, wait. There you go, little butterfly. Well, focus is still on manual for aimed at infinity, which is good for stuff that is far away but not for close by. Switching back to auto will take too much time and detract from being able to see this airplane land. KLM flight 622, 787-10 Dreamliner, going back home from Atlanta, Georgia. Hadi Benny, goedemiddag. Just about exactly noon over here. Some beautiful stripy cirrus clouds up in the sky right above me. Classic cirrus, feathery clouds. Right, well, next up, Embraer 190 arriving from Hamburg. How is visibility to the north doing? Well, you guys also don't see more airplanes than just the one. Alright, well, visibility to the north, unfortunately not optimal. Was better earlier in the morning, actually. More Embraer 190s. This one is arriving from Hamburg. The next one is arriving from Bremen. That's Captain Willie. Well, might have been, but pretty sure that the captain would do better. But we get a nice wheelie, and it looks like we're also in for a behind scene. There we go. With the heavy in the background taxiing and they will switch sides with the heavy on the left and the Embraer on the right, parting ways visually. Alright, half an hour until the next Queen and just under an hour for the next King, well, the only King, unless the PHGOV with Willem Alexander will be landing before the A380, but that's not very likely. Another Embraer 190 arriving from Bremen, KLM flight 1754. A 5-year-old airplane now touching down after 38 minutes of flying between Bremen and Amsterdam. Seems like the majority of the airplanes today are taking the first exit, which of course is nice for us. Get to see many butt shots, but it is interesting to see. Hadi Anne, goedemiddag. Alright, now let's have a look. Pinching out a little bit. Doesn't look like a lot of heavies are expected in the short run. Just more narrow bodies. Another Transavia 737 landing coming in from Barcelona. Embraer 175 will be up next. Meanwhile, this is what the south now looks like. More to the southwest. More to the southeast. Even though the weather radar says it's going to stay dry, you can definitely see that more cloudiness is coming this way. Very tiny contrail visible. Is that a Easyjet? Can I pick it up? Just about. Moving east to west, north of me and still a little east of me. Not exactly sure what it is. The contrail looks tiny. I'm suspecting it might be a Easyjet, but I'm not entirely sure. Next up, KLM flight 962 Embraer 175 arriving from Newcastle. Flight time 55 minutes. 6-year-old airplane, first flight February 2017. We all know what is coming next. There it is. Right now it is time to wait. There's a Vueling airplane flying downwind west of me. I'm trying to see if maybe I can pick it up, but I'm not. It's still far out over the North Sea, so relatively west of me, unfortunately. Got another big twin jet that is moving east to west. Oh, there are two actually. And this is the one that is the biggest and most easily discernible. Is that also Lufty? Not sure. There are two flying parallel to each other. One is a bit more close by, but now obscured by the clouds. This is just north of me. They both have passed to the west of me already. Just waiting for the cloud to move out of the way so that we can have a look. Yeah, so the second one is visible over there. The other one is over there. Now that's the bigger of the two. They do seem to be flying parallel on parallel courses. Although one is producing a significantly more visible contrail than the other one, so left one might be lower then, not sure. Definitely not at the same altitude by the looks of it. Hey, and now we do have traffic on the downwind leg visible quite clearly. That is a 777, and where is it? God damn it. There it is. I was just about to click on it, and of course then you lose sight of it. 777 flying on the downwind leg now, arriving from Sao Paulo. This is KLM flight 792. We'll see it land most likely in a couple of minutes. All right. A380 confirmed for 18 right. Good news. Good news indeed. Now, the 747 is arriving from the west, so that also is good news. Means that we have a high degree of probability, a high probability I should say, that we're going to see both on this very runway. Right, well, we're waiting for the next airplane to arrive. Let me rehydrate a little bit and also put on my gloves again for a few minutes to warm up the fingers. They are getting a little bit stiff. I do prefer operating the camera without the gloves on, just because of the tactile feedback makes for more precise following. Further north, turning onto the glide slope, is an A320 Neo from Easyjet arriving from Edinburgh, which I am not yet seeing. The clouds are very much in the way today, unfortunately. But you win some, you lose some. And today is one of those days that we lose vision of the glide slope, but we gain close-up shots of the A380 at least, and maybe also the fourth queen. Right, time to get those hands back toasty again. Right, now A380 in the meantime is in Dutch airspace, as you guys can see. We'll be flying like this and then turn final, which we should normally be able to pick up if the visibility is alright. The last airplane of the day, getting in the vicinity of Wales, still an hour out, but we'll wait it out. As long as it stays dry, shouldn't be a problem. Right, strata tanker passing Schiphol on the east from southeast. There is something coming my way, but I think that's a quad jet. Not sure if this is the strata tanker. Might be, you guys tell me. It's now going to pass just, well, it will pass north, just north of me momentarily, still a little bit to the east. I find it really hard to discern. It does look a bit more stubby. Well, I definitely see a big lumpy circular thing turning around, so that is probably the strata tanker, or if it's not a strata tanker, it is an AWACS type airplane, because I can clearly see a black disc with a white stripe on it rotating. Lovely to see, despite the haziness in between. Great stuff. Should be in the clear again in a minute. Too bad that it is too far out now to see the details, but that was definitely one. An AWACS. And strata tanker right behind it. Well, that is not producing a contrail. I'm just seeing the one from the AWACS. I'm trying to see if I just see the airplane individually, but it's finding a needle in a haystack. When the airplanes don't produce contrails, it's also quickly getting more cloudy over here once again. This is now what it looks like to the east, southeast, the south, southwest, west. Man, you can't do anything. Not film the AWACS, they will send you to prison. Film the El Al and the Mossad will come after you. Dangerous stuff this. Maybe the next investment should be a bulletproof vest then. Okay, visibility to the north is improving. Seems like a trade-off. Good visibility to the north, poor visibility to the south and vice versa, but we're seeing two planes once again. In the foreground, Embraer 190 arriving from Humberside. Number 2, we saw it already flying downwind. The 777 arriving from Sao Paulo. Images like this never grow old, at least not to me. Ideally, you would like to see a bit more separation so that you can have 4 airplanes or more in the same shot, but 3 and occasionally 4 will do. Alright, A380 also getting ever closer by, and it has been assigned to this runway, ladies and gentlemen. So if you just tuned in, sit back, the A380 today will arrive up close. Nice to see that they assigned it to this runway. So it does look like they are then operating the standard schedule that they also used to do before the transition to winter time, i.e. open up the center runway around 1, and if that is going to be the case, then for the upcoming winter months until the end of March we are in a good position to see the Emirates A380 up close more regularly. Unless it is really delayed, then it should always arrive when Polderbaan, well, given this wind configuration of course. And we should expect it to land on Polderbaan very much more often than during summertime. Right, KLM flight 792 arriving from Sao Paulo. You already saw it on the downwind leg. Now touching down, 10 hours and 41 minutes of flight. All right. And another contrail moving east to west north of me, twin jet. Not sure which carrier it is, doesn't look like a Lufti, but no time to follow it too long. Got 2 airplanes coming this way, you can already see them. Well, the left one only momentarily. Well, yeah, no, decently visible. KLM flight 1546 up first. Arriving from Leeds, Embraer 175. The airplane is underway now for 49 minutes. It is a 6-year-old airplane, first flight May 2017. You might also pick up on the sound of an airplane taking off. That would be a lipstick airplane from Norwegian. Bjorny something. Going back to Copenhagen, or? We saw it land on center a little bit earlier in the morning. Now it's going back to Scandinavia. And we are looking at the arrival of the Embraer 175. Coming back home from Leeds. Alright, thank you Marissa. A380 now 5th for arrival. Also coming this way, 777 to Shanghai. China Eastern, flight 772. Going to Shanghai. 777-300 ER. 8 years old, first flight July 2015. Right, let me turn back so that the wires don't get tangled. Visibility to the north is definitely improving, as you guys can see. 2 airplanes easily visible. Third one at 7 o'clock of number 2. Embraer 175 arriving from Cardiff up first. Number 2, A320 Aer Lingus arriving from Dublin. A320 Neo Easyjet number 3 arriving from BVS Belfast. Beautiful glide slope shot. Once again, 3 airplanes visible. Always good to see. Number 4 is the A380. Now if there's one behemoth visible quite soon, it is the A380. There it is. So 4 airplanes, 1 shot. Although this is first a little tiny one. Right, little booty shots. Let's quickly turn back. Not sure if the ATC is having an off day, Ronald. We've gone to winter time, and that means that if ATC uses the same times to open up and close the secondary runway for arrivals, given the fact that in Dubai they are still taking off from the same time, i.e. now an hour earlier, the A380 is arriving in the Netherlands on average an hour or just under an hour earlier, making it logical to go to this runway when 18 right and 18 center are the primary and secondary runways for arrival. Let's quickly turn back. The A380 now number 2, the fisherman also returning from harvesting crayfish. And here we have the A380 behind an A320 Neo from Easyjet that is coming in from Belfast. Hi. Let's quickly look at the landing. Dime in a dozen. Right. Up next, the Emirates A380. Flight 147, standard livery, arriving from Dubai, 6 hours and 41 minutes of flight time. The airplane, 8 years old, first flight October 2015. AMS Live members have access to the updated standard livery with the ribbon tail. If you're liking what you're seeing and you have not so already, don't forget to like the stream and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more in the future and want to get notified ahead of time when I'm going live. This is Emirates flight 147 A380 arriving from Dubai. A little bit longer underway than normal. Must have had a little bit of headwind. Let's look and listen. An apartment building with wings, always amazing to see how such a giant can gracefully land, can even stay airborne. So there was still plenty of moisture on and around the runway, as you guys could see. Definitely not disappointing, this one. And now the taxi back to the gate begins. Luckily the gate's always on this side for the A380, so it doesn't have to taxi very far, just needs to get back to the main platform area. For it to do that, it has to follow the line of trees more or less and the lanterns. As you can see, airplane behind the fire station has to go along the line of trees, and then eventually you'll reach the main platform area, which is behind the farm. You can already see some airplanes behind the trees, and somewhere over there is where the A380 is normally parked. The terminal building, all the gates are over there. Immediately adjacent to it is the original ATC control tower, but if I zoom out, you can see just how far away it all is from over here. So that is why this runway has a dedicated ATC control tower. Now, Another KLM 737 just landed, but what's more interesting is the airplane coming next. Flying AMS Live logo, arriving from San Jose. KLM Flight 760, which is a 7879 Dreamliner. It's been underway now for 9 hours and 47 minutes. This mid-size Dreamliner, 6 years old, the airplane. First flight was in August 2017. We're still waiting for the fourth queen of the show, so if you just tuned in and you have time until 1 o'clock, definitely stick around. A fourth Boeing 747 arriving from Miami, very likely to land on this runway, even if runway 18 center would open up in a few minutes, which I think it will. Gracefully descending, gliding to the runway threshold. Flying AMS Live logo, at least until the spoilers go up. Then the flex, as you guys can see, vanishes. I am seeing a Maskargo A330 arriving from Doha, flying just north of Purmerend. It once again looks like the sun will be gone soon. All the way to the south it looks more overcast. This time around it might actually come true. I thought it before, but then it was only a temporary phenomenon. But the weather radar still indicates some precipitation coming this way, even though it is dissipating as it moves north. Right, plenty more airplanes are coming this way. I'm waiting for the moment that the central runway will also open up. Won't be long. Sooner rather than later. Now 2 airplanes visible. Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington in the foreground. Easyjet A319 arriving from Liverpool behind it. Top Air Portugal arriving from Lisbon should be number 3, which is, well, they're almost exactly aligned, all 3. Also nice. Visible through the hole in the clouds. And the number 4 should be the A330, entering the field of view from the right, if we are able to see it, that is. Which I'm not sure we are going to be, but maybe we'll get lucky, but no, don't think we will see it. Right, oh wait, there it is, far left, middle, the Maskargo. Austrian Wolf asks about the plan for the rest of the week. Well, the week is always the same. I work on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays through Mondays I don't have my day job. Normally speaking, I do try to reserve Mondays for doing chores around the house, but last week, for instance, wasn't able to go out on Thursday or on Friday. So I figured let's go out on Monday if the weather is good then, and today it is, luckily. So basically I always try to go out Thursdays through Sundays, weather permitting. And that is also going to be the plan for the upcoming week. Now bear in mind though that I will have to take a weekend off from streaming at some point once the weather is predicted to be good on both weekend days, because as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I still have some tile sawing that I need to do for the backyard. Need to rent one of those big ass machines, circular saws that are water cooled. We'll need it for the weekend. We'll need good weather so that me and my uncle can finish the work that I'm doing in my backyard. But for the upcoming weekend, predictions are not that great, unfortunately, because that also means streaming becomes a bit more iffy. But ordinarily the plan is, weather permitting, streams on Thursdays through Sundays, Monday a day off, Tuesday, Wednesday, day job. But I'm flexible. I mean, if there's a storm predicted on a Monday, I'm not going to say, well, today is my day off. Obviously, I will try to go out then. Right, visibility to the north, once again, decent. 2 airplanes visible. The second one is the A330. At 9 o'clock of the A330, a third one becoming visible. Another 3 airplane glide slope shot established. In the foreground, Top Air Portugal arriving from Lisbon. A320. Departed from Lisbon 2 hours and 16 minutes ago. The airplane is 17 years old. The first flight was in June 2006. Well, Austrian Wolf, the schedule is is fixed in essence, but it is fixed with flexibility, is what I would like to call it. I try to have set days, but again, it's all weather dependent, and if the weather doesn't allow me to stream for 2 out of the 4 days that I had planned for it, but I can do so on the 5th day, I will go out on the 5th day, just because I think going out for just 2 streams is a bit meager. Hey Han, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Still a little spider that is trying to build a web, it seems like, from the side of my camera screen to the main. Oh, what's that? Wind corrections. escargot, but Maskargo. I'm still a tiny spider trying to make a web between my camera screen and the main body of the tripod. Right, there's also a BizJet that seems to be going to land on the Oostbaan. Should be flying over the city of Amsterdam. Looking to my right. See if I can spot it, but it's probably too tiny and too hazy. So let's then have a look at the things that we can see much better. KLM flight 1354 arriving from Prague, the Czech Republic 737-800, flight time 1 hour and 13 minutes, 23 years old, first flight April 2000. And Turkish A321 Neo looks like is going to be the first airplane to arrive on the center runway. So it's 1:45. That was also the more or less the standard time for the reopening of the center runway as secondary runway for arrivals in the summertime. So that does bode well for the winter time, in that we might get to see that A380 a bit more regularly, since it is now scheduled to arrive in the period where we only have one runway open for arrivals when the wind is blowing from the south, such as today. Alright, Anna has to go. Anna, thank you for joining. Good to see you again. Hope to see you again soon. Two airplanes visible. The clouds make for a nice backdrop, but it does reduce visibility occasionally, unfortunately. Not much we can do about that. Winter is coming. Lufthansa arriving from Munich, A320, flight 2304. That's the IUA. All right, triple arriving from Doha will be landing on center. Vueling is preceding it, arriving from Alicante. So after this airplane has landed, we can have a look at the triple that is coming to the center runway from Qatar, arriving from Doha. Not this. This is of course a Vueling A320 arriving from Valencia, flight 1377. Nearly all white according to the picture on flight radar, with the exception of the logo and the front side of the engine casing, it seems like. We'll be curious to see if that is still accurate. You have seen before that the pictures on flight radar are not always up to date. But this does look like what we could also see on the picture. Oh, and it's only the left side that has a yellow. The front of the engine casing is yellow. It's all white on this side. OCD people are now getting high blood pressure because of the left side being yellow, white on the right. Here we have Qatar Airways flight 273 arriving from Doha. Passenger flight underway for 6 hours and 9 minutes as we speak. The airplane itself 9 years old. First flight February 2014. 777-300 ER. 777-300 And even though it is the Dreamliner that is known for its wing flags, when you look at it from the side, as we are doing now, you can also see that the wings on the triple flex quite significantly. Of course, they do on all airplane types. But of course it is the Dreamliner that is known for it. But you could see it very clearly just how high the wingtip was, and you could see well under the airplane wing from this point of view, and not just because it was flying higher than we were standing. Alrighty, Embraer, Speedbird, no need to look at flight radar, but now I'm doing, and it is confirming, this one is arriving from London City. British Airways doesn't fly the the Embraer 190 to Amsterdam from other destinations than Amsterdam, London City, does it? I cannot think of any other destinations that are being serviced by this airplane type other than London City. Well, Austrian Wolf, if the wing span is greater on the 777-9, then it will definitely look nice. Not very up to speed with all the specs, so not sure how much, but I'm assuming it is wider because of the... Where's that? No, that's the 9, right? With the folding wing tips. All right, well, let's have another look at the map, shall we? So the last airplane of the day is underway, still over the North Sea, expected now at 1:12 p.m. in 16 minutes. How does that compute with the time being 10 minutes to 1? I don't know. Yorkshire Biker already confirming that KLM Cargo 747 will be landing on the Polderbaan. It is of course to be expected, coming from the west. Now, still looks okay in terms of the rain. The weather radar doesn't look very different from what it was. Vinny, thank you so much. Super chat from Vinny, who says, I feel not good. I will be okay soon. I need sleep, but I am watching on TV and I will give 5 members in 5 minutes. Thanks for the stream, boy. Well, Vinny, don't feel like you need to, mate. You have contributed and supported more than enough already. Thank you so much for your super chat, but that is really, you really have gone above and beyond already. But I'm happy that when you're not feeling well, at least I can do something to make you feel a little bit better, or if not better, then at least a little bit of distraction for you. Am I crazy or what? Oh, yeah, I am crazy. I was zoomed out too much. The Vueling is not going to this runway, but is flying over there. They're prepping the runway, probably. Are they doing a runway inspection? I'm looking around, I'm not seeing anything. So why is the A320 then going to center? Okay, interesting. We're now looking at an A320neo from Vueling. Going to the center runway, arriving from Valencia. Flight 8353. This airplane has taken 1 hour and 49 minutes to get here from Valencia thus far. It's 4 years old, the airplane. Had its first flight in June 2019. It's going to be followed by an A319 from Air France, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, which is also going to the center runway. And the first airplane to come to the Polderbaan is on the glide slope in the vicinity of Heemskerk, which is a 777 from Emirates Sky Cargo. Now those are big mofos, so let me have a look, see if we can spot it already. Of course, so close to being on the runway, we'll wait until we have confirmation that it has in fact touched down, which we will get in a second. Yep, there we go. Let's see if we can find the triple already. I think, well, that was easy. Very easily discernible against the backdrop. Our next airplane, Emirates Sky Cargo, flight 9912, arriving from Aguadilla, with a lovely cloudy and also open backdrop. Wonderful to see. 777 freighter has been flying now for 8 hours and 3 minutes to get here. The airplane is a year old. First flight April 2022. Let me go back to the laptop and first of all say a big thank you to James, who just super chatted. And he wrote the following: another great stream as always, boy. Keep up the great work and I'm so happy to support you. Well, James, thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you so much for your support, for your super chat. I'm happy that I make you happy, and hopefully all of you. Doing something that I like doing and also sharing it with other people who share the same interests. What could be more fun than that? So definitely thank you so much, James, and you're welcome. Happy to oblige. And also Vinny, thank you so much for the promised 5 AMS Live memberships. You really shouldn't have, but thank you nonetheless. Your support has been immense and I appreciate it a lot. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, of course, those 5 new members who just got gifted their membership by Vinny. Don't forget to say thank you to Vinny. Make him feel better and get better in the process. Mind over matter. Make sure he feels good so he will become good, or even better, I should say. Well, so far it's the only airplane coming this way, the 777 from Emirates Sky Cargo. We should, in a few moments, see an A320 from Easyjet arriving from Manchester. Will be entering the field of view from the left, and behind it an A320neo from British Airways arriving from London Heathrow. Now, let me zoom out just a little bit more so that we can enjoy this view a bit longer. Can we see the A320 yet? I think visibility should be good enough for us to be able to pick up on it if it does enter the field of view, but sadly it doesn't look like it. Now the Emirates triple is landing, so let's first focus on it. Departure from the Kaagbaan. Simultaneously. All right. There's the next airplane. Oh, and I'm already fully zoomed in. So imagine just how much bigger that 777 is compared with the A320 that we are seeing just in the middle of the screen, below the edge of the clouds. The A320neo should already be on the glide slope as well. Or is that the A320neo? No, they're not. Any other airplanes? Ahead of this one, so this one is the A320 arriving from Manchester, Easyjet. A320neo behind it from British Airways arriving from London Heathrow, but it is still very far to the north, just below Alkmaar, so probably won't be able to see that. Singapore Airlines Dallas asks about the KLM 747. Should arrive in approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Well, it's already flying base more or less. Should become visible in 10 minutes or so. Also a couple of airplanes flying downwind west of me, going to the north. Although I'm not seeing them, unfortunately. Is that Neo already visible or not? I'm not seeing it yet. Oh wait, in the bottom of the screen we'll climb above the clouds just in a second. So that's the British Airways A320neo following the Easyjet A320. And coming in from the left should be another 737 from Transavia arriving from Ibiza, which I'm not sure if we are going to be able to pick up on. Let me see if maybe moving the camera a little bit lower. I'm not sure. Now this is also a lovely shot, might even become a thumbnail. I'm always a big fan of these long distance shots with several airplanes in view. Doesn't look like we will be able to pick up on the number 3, or wait a minute, what's this think that might be it. The Transavia arriving as number 3. Right, well, here we go. 747 is now almost approaching land north of Alkmaar, so really far up to the north. Too far for us to see visually, probably, particularly since it is already at 2,600 feet, which means it is near impossible to see from over here. Will become more easily visible once it gets more close by, but we'll have to wait a few more minutes. Also a 777 arriving from Guayaquil that is turning onto the downwind leg, and I think I see it actually. I think I actually see it. This is KLM flight 755, the 777-200 arriving from Guayaquil that has now just turned downwind. Alright, 2 airplanes visible. The Queen should be number 3. The question is, where is she? Can we see her? Biggest chance of seeing her. I think I have her. I think she's in the middle. Where's that? No, wait, that is the... That's the 737-900 first, arriving from Barcelona. I have to say, the backdrop is beautiful for the grand finale. Now, again the question, will we see Her Majesty already? Can we make her out over here or not? So in the foreground, Transavia 737-800 arriving from Ibiza. Behind it, the 737-900 arriving from Barcelona. Behind it, we should see the Queen somewhere, and bingo! There she is in the middle. She's coming home. Alright, well, first up, Transavia, flight 5676, Boeing 737-800, arriving from the party island Ibiza. Flight time 2 hours precisely. The airplane 23 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in April of the year 2000. Well, in the meantime, they're also busy doing some heavy construction with some plates that probably lay in the field earlier, or oh no, they're constructing them and laying them down over there. For a minute I thought they might be removed from and allowed the trucks to drive into the field that we saw last week for the removal of the harvested sugar beets, but does look like the wind is picking up a little bit. 2 more airplanes for this stream. The penultimate airplane is a KLM 737-900 arriving from Barcelona, KLM flight 166. Flight time 1 hour and 39 minutes. The airplane is 19 years old. First flight was in April 2004. Let's quickly look at the touchdown. Yeah, that's in order. Right, last airplane of the day. The Queen of the Skies. If I counted correctly, number 4. KLM Cargo, operated by Martin Air Holland, arriving from Miami, Florida, flight 7762. This airplane has been on the way now for 8 hours precisely, according to flight radar, getting from Miami to where it is right now. It's a 747-400 freighter ER, 20 years old, first flight March 2003. Left of the 747 we can see the next airplane behind it, which is a 737-800 from KLM arriving from Madrid. Well, let's stick around for 2 more airplanes, because the airplane behind the now number 2 is that 777-200 arriving from Guayaquil, which is over there. But then KLM flight 755, the one we picked up on already just now as it turned downwind, will be the last airplane for today. So all 3 airplanes remaining in view right now. Beautiful glide slope shots. We couldn't have asked for a better backdrop to end the stream today with. We have been somewhat disappointed in the use of the reverse thrust today by the previous 747s. Let's see how this one will look and sound like. Now, if you're a fan of noisy, loud, old planes that sometimes are smoky, make sure to like this stream and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications if you want to get notifications when I go live again in the future. KLM Cargo, the spoilers are lowering. The flaps are still fully extended, but they are retracting as we speak. You can see them. Beautifully, also relatively quickly. Right, 2 more airplanes. This little snack in between. arriving from Madrid, 737. And the very last airplane of today is KLM flight 755, 777-200, arriving from Guayaquil. Has flown a bit longer than the Queen just now has in terms of distance for this particular flight. (11 hours and 13 minutes. 13 hours is just reserved for planes coming back from Tokyo. This 777-200ER is 18 years old already, had its first flight in November of the year 2004. Right, good time to do a little bit of rehydrating. If they would just stop arming the reverse thrust in the first place so that those slots can stay closed all the time, they can also save a little bit of repair cost on having to service the mechanism that pulls back that mechanism and shoves it back forward again. They're never using it, so why even open up in the first place? Folks, with this rhetorical question, I am going to end today's stream. We kept it dry. It has been the first stream in a while where the rain was not an immediate threat. So thank you all so much for joining me here today on this Monday, the beginning of the week. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did just now. Looking forward to seeing you again on the next one, which, weather permitting, is going to be on Thursday. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. A big thank you to all the people who were so kind to become a member or donate memberships, donate super chats, donate super stickers, become a subscriber, or maybe purchase something through the merch store. Thank you all so much for your support. Of course, a big thank you to all the moderators who once again today kept the stream a very welcoming and happy place. Thank you all so much for your support. Very much looking forward to seeing you on the next one. If you haven't done so already, drop a like. We just passed through 500 likes, another giant number. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more stuff like this, streams such as this. I do go out on a weekly basis several times, so looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your week and the rest of your day. See you on the next one. Bye for now.